Guys, I'm sick, but I'm still gonna stream anyway because I have a lot to talk about that I do want to share with you guys. So, that's part of what the stream is here for. Okay, first thing, Bitcoin 91,000. That's great. We just reached a high of 91,881 pretty recently. We're just 10 minutes into this new hour. It's currently 9:09 p.m. And the optimism is kind of back. We are a little optimistic about what's going to happen this upcoming Friday. This upcoming Friday will be an important date. I will show you why. I think I have already discussed it. Yesterday I couldn't stream because I was just sick. I couldn't do anything at all. Today I'm not any better. You could probably tell from my voice, but yeah, it's fine. Tomorrow is Thursday, nothing important. Friday is the important day. Non-farm payroll data, unemployment rate, super important. Fed Chair Powell speech at 12:30, and also we have the crypto summit that will be happening March 7 at the White House. Got a lot of information on that, a lot of speculation as to what is going to happen there, and also the market is becoming a little optimistic about not this. Come on, I'm looking for this. See me Fed Watch. The chances of a rate cut for this year have practically increased to 3 possible rate cuts. Okay, so we saw that we were getting one in June. Another one's going to happen likely in September, and then in December. 25 basis points rate cut each. So 75 basis point rate cut in total. That's not bad at all. Rate cuts we deem as good for the economy. Gets the money flowing, right? People were thinking like, okay, but this whole tariff situation that is currently live, by the way, how is this going to impact the markets? Isn't this going to cause inflation to rise? And if inflation rises, you also have to rise, the rates to keep up with that, right? To kind of slow down the money. But that's not good for the markets, right? We need money flowing in as fast as possible. Keeps the businesses up with their revenue, their earnings, and especially in terms of crypto, it just gets more liquidity into the market, which it is what we need, especially during a crucial time like this, where we're still in the middle of a bull run. Even as grim as it may seem sometimes, when Bitcoin drops to lows of like 81,000 or even worse, 78,000, which was the lowest point that we saw February 28th. This month, it's looking like we're starting up higher highs, higher lows. Seems like we're on our way to try to reach a higher high. If we do break past 95,000, that'll be important over here. Or this fib level, 94,103. That would also, yeah, be crucial to determine whether or not we are indeed so back. If not, then I'll accept the reality that we are practically being overshadowed by what I like to call a downtrend, starting from here. Well, from this point as well, keeping that in consideration. So yeah, you'll notice like we do have to break out of this around 94,000, max 95,000 zone. We do break out of that, which if you're looking at my cursor over here at the bottom, it says approximately like 7 of March, 8 of March. I think you understand where I'm going with this, right? Very crucial moment for Bitcoin here. Super trend has flipped bullish. That is super positive. And with, all that stuff that's happening, we're hoping that everything, like the stars align, this will just make the market explode, right? Especially depending on what's going to be announced, the people that will be there, Also, what Jerome Powell will say in terms of the economy, what the numbers return for the non-farm payroll data, the unemployment rate, etc. It's going to be a very important day, Friday, March 7, guys. All right. Just wanted to start off with that. As of right here, I don't have any uptrends drawn. This is like a fresh chart. That's probably why. What is this? August 5? Yeah, August 4. So I will draw a new uptrend from, not from this point then. From practically this point, this was September. Come on now. There. And then, yeah. So this is practically one of the things that I was mentioning where if, okay, depending on how bad things would become eventually, as long as we don't drop below 74,000, what was the all-time high? Let me just, not the all-time high, but like, you know what I mean, 2024 all-time high levels, 73,843, practically 74,000, right? That was the highest point that we reached, and it served as a very important resistance on multiple occasions until we eventually broke out of it with the victory of Donald Trump taking hold of the White House. We were at dangerous levels just a couple days ago, okay? Where we reached a low of 78,000. Why did we reach this low? Because I discussed this was where the CME gap, where Donald Trump's victory was just so potent over here that, you know, after we broke that all-time high at that moment in 2024, we just exploded past the 80s directly into like the 90s, right? We stayed in the 90s for a moment. We broke to 100,000 a couple of times. We used 90,000 as an important support until eventually the fundamentals were bad enough with, you know, practically every Friday we were getting bad news. This Friday, though, we're going to get some, hopefully not bad news. We hope that history doesn't repeat itself this time, which, you know, goes to show that history doesn't repeat itself all the time. January, February, March, they were supposed to be green months. So far, though, February has been a very red month. So for all cryptocurrencies, right? No surprises there. March, though, yeah, like I said, historically doesn't really matter. What mattered here the most was, okay, filling the CME gap was target number 1, and target number 2 was this point. Why is this point crucial? Let me open a TradingView chart and show you. Bitcoin, I don't want to use this one though. I have to use, I think Coinbase has a longer history if I go to a weekly chart. Indeed it does. When was the president elected in, I don't know, I'm assuming November 2020, right? This point right over here. I have to use indicator. October, November 2020. Okay, let's just say right there. November 2020, presidential election happened. Sure, we had our massive pump, and this happened in 2021 alone, okay? Around November 2021, so 1 year after the elections, was that at that moment the all-time high for Bitcoin at $69,000. And then we had a big drop, crypto winter, bear market, etc. But how far did we drop? And that's the reason why I drew this line over here. We did not drop below the price of Bitcoin, whatever it was before the elections. Okay? That's what's important here. Now, we're getting a similar setup this time, where we reached a high level for Bitcoin, and I have a feeling that the cycle is just going to explode much higher, honestly. Like, this isn't even a joke. We haven't even gotten started here. This is the 73,800 mark that I was telling you guys about. Historically speaking, and here's a CME gap, by the way. This line right over here correlates exactly to where we dropped last week. Anyways, back on topic here. This, if history repeats itself in this pattern, we should not see a drop that would take us below pre-election levels, if you know what I'm saying here. So like lowest point that we should reach, hopefully, is 74,000 if things get terrible, which I doubt will be that bad. But yeah, that's just my way of analyzing at least that portion, right? You can even try 2016, I guess. Where's 2016? Here. November 2016. So it's about there, right? Yeah, similar deal. We never saw these levels after that election. We dropped to a low of, okay, Bitcoin was 747, November 2016. We reached a high of 19,000, dropped to a low of 3,000. We didn't drop to 700 ever again, or 600, I think it was. whatever the case may be. And then before this, we don't have any more chart history, and it's irrelevant at that point either. Bitcoin was worth pennies at that time. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. There's no way in hell that we could drop below 74,000, hopefully. All right, cool. Moving on. Back to the charts here. You'll notice that I'm on perpetual futures with USDT balance. That is true, 89,000. Why do I have this money here? Well, let me show you. I have this thing running in the background, which is my automated strategy. I finally accomplished it. Yes, I know. Thank you. Is it perfect? No. I still have to tweak it just a little bit more, but the base idea of what I want my strategy to do, it is working. It is executing trades in real time, setting up its stop loss and take profits correctly. Finally, it took me so long to do that, by the way, but it's all fixed now. And also, you know, automatically setting up leverage and, you know, checking your account balance to make sure, you know, you're risking only 1% per trade, that kind of deal, right? So I don't need this anymore. Just to clear up my taskbar, I don't need this. Yeah, I do need that. There's my code. Okay. Yeah, and it will check trades every 5 minutes, because in 5-minute chart is where I search for my entries. Who knows? Maybe I'll sell this someday if it becomes profitable. But yeah, that's the idea for now. Cool. The way it works, you check trends in the 1-hour chart, super trend and 200 SMA. If you're in an uptrend, you look for longs. If you're in a downtrend, you look for shorts. I was using Litecoin, which unfortunately lost. It technically is in a downtrend still. Litecoin, it's showing the weakness that it wasn't showing before. Most cryptocurrencies were struggling for practically the whole month of February, except for Litecoin. Litecoin had a glimmer of hope from ETFs that were very likely to get approved, which we heard nothing of yet still, by the way, which explains the little bit of sell-off here that we're seeing for Litecoin, and not too much of a recovery compared to the rest of the coins, right? February 28 was a big drop for most coins. Litecoin only dropped to over here, 114. Recovered back to 130 approximately, but then took a lower dip to 93. I had a position trigger order over here on my main account, which did not get executed. Feels bad, but it's fine. I still got a purchase over here, and that one's currently in a little bit of profit. Nonetheless, though, my indicators tell me that we are in a downtrend still, and that's why I have been shorting it. You can see it started a short order right over here, and then it hit a stop loss, I guess, because the candlesticks are going up. You could check it from over here. We could check from the trade history, actually. So these are all test transactions that I've been doing. I haven't been using much money, though, as you can tell. That's why I only have $89. I put $100 in here just to test. So far, it's doing what I want it to, but these were not calculating the positions correctly. You'll notice, like in this trade I lost, this one was a manual close. It didn't set up a take profit or a stop loss, so I just let those two ride for, was it XRP or Cardano? I don't remember. I think it was this one. These two Cardano trades. This one was risking more than expected. This one risked more than expected and lost a lot. If I'm only risking 1% of the account and my account is $100, I should only be losing $1, right? Listen, I'm sick. Don't judge my math skills right now. But yeah, I lost $1 there, and, well, I should have lost $1 there, but I ended up losing $7. Reason for that is because it was calculating the stop loss incorrectly. The way it detects the stop loss is to check the last 3 candles. Once, you know, this, for example, swings to the downside if we're talking about a short position. Checks the last 3 candles for the highest point. Let's say if you were entering, I don't know, here, you would check this, this, this. Okay, from here. And then you would multiply 2 times the average true range value, this value down over here. And, you know, it would risk the 1% until this distance, but not the 2 times average true range distance, which would be up here somewhere, right? And it is using a risk-reward ratio of 1 to 3. So something like that. And of course, with this pump, it hit a stop loss right over here. So yeah, you can see that over here. Like the trade opened with these parameters on Litecoin. I'm not going to input everything. I already know the trade loss. I just wanted to make sure that it worked. My account balance is correct, so that's another thing I wanted to verify before I actually put more money in here and get it to operate. This one exited the short at, what time was this? 2050, which would have been 2040, 2050, right over here. So thanks to that candle, I suppose. Or it detects 5 minutes before, so it would have been this one. 45. Okay, there you go. That's how it works. We're still in a downtrend though, so I still do have this running, meaning that if these three moving averages flip to the downside, then it will enter another short position and try to ride that out if crypto crashes overnight. I don't know. I mentioned earlier that this week would be a very volatile week, so we should keep our eyes peeled and, you know, take advantage of the dips mainly because Friday is going to be an important day. It's going to make or break this crypto market, I feel like. All right. That's all I wanted to ramble about my little strategy endeavors that I've been working on while I was sick. Ethereum, kind of good recovery, 2,200, still super cheap. And man, I'll let you know something. I'll let you in on a secret. Donald Trump and his World Liberty Financial, they've been accumulating a lot of Ethereum. It's about to cross into an uptrend here at the close of this candle. If we do close above 2,266, above that 200 smooth moving average, not smooth, simple moving average. So that's important for Ethereum. Trends are flipping. Solana flipped over to a bullish trend by now, currently 147. I took advantage of some good dips in here as well. Is this resistance correct? Yes. This means that, well, okay, we're already seeing a resistance here at 180 approximately. It's an important level for Solana. Approximately. Currently, we're looking at 165. And, of course, we drop to this low level. Based if you just draw another Fibonacci here, it's pretty simple to see. That's not what I meant. I want this. Okay, I'll fix that later. So, something like this, right? Drop to a low over here, and we're currently at this area at the moment. On our way to reach this resistance, 165, then we worry about the 180 later on. Then 190, then 200. Makes sense. Every $10, important resistance. Psychologically, yes, it makes sense for Solana. Most coins are up today. Pretty decent. XRP also, it's about to flip bullish as well once it crosses that super trend level. These are resistances, are they? They are. We reached an important resistance at $3 for XRP, coinciding with the downtrend and the fib level. And, of course, it's psychological $3 mark with the big pump from a couple days ago once the Crypto Strategic Reserve was announced by a post on Truth Social by Donald Trump. Man, my throat. Cardano also had a 73% pump, something like that. Upon the news of that strategic reserve. Of course, you'll notice here Cardano was where I was mostly testing this out. Bit of a choppy situation, which is why I didn't make as much profit, but realistically I'm only risking $1 per trade, so who cares? Well, I should be risking pennies, but I actually lost like $7 on one trade. I think it was this one. Probably was, right? No, this was a win. Alright, never mind. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I bought at the bottom and I sold at the top. What am I talking about? It was a different one that made me lose $7. It was this one. It was also on Cardano. Whatever. We're not here to talk about it. But yeah, you get the point. Sui also, it's under $3. Still a good buy. No current trend at the moment. We also did break below this floor of 240. Did I take advantage of this dip? I think I did. I did. That's where I had a trigger order at the 240 mark, so I'm pretty stacked for now. Well, I came in stacked from the top for Sui. But yeah, you'll notice now that this coincides with the $3 mark, the resistance of the Fibonacci zone. That's perfect. Then it's 344 also coinciding with these highs. Then we got 380, 418, 470, and an all-time high at 537. Yeah, I'm not getting any better. All right, let's move on to some news. 20 minutes into the stream. This whole tariff situation, okay. It's people are scared, of course. The tariffs are gonna increase prices because everybody, well, the United States has to, especially if Canada or Mexico or China retaliates with counter tariffs, the United States is gonna have to spend more. And who ends up paying the price? The consumers, possibly, yes. The issue, well, not the issue, I guess. The reason why America is doing this is because they don't import a lot from the countries that they're putting tariffs on, like Canada, Mexico, or, well, maybe China, yes. But in the case of Canada and Mexico, they don't import a lot from them. Sure, they do import some stuff. They do rely on them for a couple things. But realistically, it's just going to end up hurting Canada and Mexico more than it will hurt the United States. And that is what Trump's plan is. I don't know. I watched a 2-minute video on tariffs, so I think that's what it means. Doug Ford, who was just reelected in the Ontario provincial elections, I don't know, he kind of started off this whole, oh, we're going to respond strong against these Americans and show them what's up kind of deal. He says he wanted Americans to feel pain like never before because he's not happy, of course, that Donald Trump, being from kind of like the same, I guess, political views as he has, is putting tariffs on Canada. It's just going to hurt the economy of Canada, and we know that. It's going to hurt. So now I guess he practically threatened an act of war and war crimes on the United States, mentioning mainly about the trade war, but he said that he wanted to cut off the electricity, which that is a war crime, and it's something that Israel did to Gaza, apparently, is what they're claiming. But I don't think that's not an issue anymore. And this is not going to be an issue either because he went back on that, I think, and he's not actually going to do this. He's not actually going to cut off electricity. I think he's just going to charge more for the electricity. He says that, okay, never mind what I said. Let's be peaceful about this. He also calls on Americans and Canadians to not boo each other's national anthems because there are soldiers that fought for freedoms, democracies, sovereignty, and they've laid their lives on the line. So it's disrespectful, of course, to boo each other's national anthems, which has been a reoccurring thing in hockey games and stuff like that. Premier Ford also announces that they ripped up their contract with Elon Musk's company Starlink for internet service provider with satellite. He says it's done, it's gone. We won't award contracts to people who enable and encourage economic attacks on our province and our country. He is also practically blaming Elon Musk for being on Trump's side more than Canada's side, right? And also, I guess, trying to influence the elections or whatever. It seems like I don't know, I don't understand why. It seems like Elon Musk is more likely to support Pierre Poilievre, obviously pressuring Trudeau to get kicked out of office as well, similarly to what Trump has done. I feel like Doug Ford should be kind of thanking them. But I understand where he's coming from. He doesn't like these tariffs. Nobody does. It's going to suck. It's going to hurt the economy. So he's just trying to play tough guy at the moment. He's also telling Saskatoon Premier Scott Moe to stop selling uranium and other rare earth minerals to the United States, noting that Russia is the only competitor now. He used to kind of want to be Ukraine at the time when Trump was going to sign that rare earth minerals deal with Zelensky in exchange for, to repay the debts that Ukraine owes the United States and to practically negotiate a peace deal with Russia. Which Zelensky, he went to discuss that, but he ended up being disrespectful in the White House, and it ended up getting him kicked out. So he went to England instead to ask for the money France is also giving the Ukraine more money, and so is Canada, of course, $20 billion instead of, focusing on our own country and on Trump's requests, right? But no, Ford accuses Trump of cozying up to Putin, calling it a disaster that he's attacking his closest friends and neighbors. I don't know. This seems like a bit more of a Democrat point of view. It's literally what, I forget what her name is. Is this black Congress lady? Something Crockett. She literally said the exact similar kind of thing, right? Saying like, oh, now we're friends with Russia and now we're enemies with Ukraine and our neighbors Canada and Mexico and our best trading partner China or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, similar kind of point of view, which I think is a little bit flawed because we know what the long-term result of these tariffs would be is to get people to sit down and negotiate with the United States in a more serious manner to combat, of course, the illegal border crossings and fentanyl crisis that he is saying that is claiming a lot of lives, which I can see that, and I do agree. So, part of the deal, I guess Doug Ford is ordering LCBO, a liquor selling store company, to remove U.S. alcohol from the shelves in response to Trump's tariffs. So, no more American beer or liquor. There you go. Enjoy if you're a drinker. Danielle Smith, the Premier of Alberta, another province in Canada, said that they will not impose counter tariffs on its energy exports to the US. I think they will be doing it to every other stuff, but not to energy exports, and Alberta is rich in that, by the way. Danielle said that Alberta won't impose counter tariffs on energy exports, calling them an essential product for American consumers and businesses, while noting that the daily flow of 4.3 million barrels will continue, albeit at a higher cost. We're still going to buy U.S. petroleum, but we're not going to give them counter tariffs. We're just going to suck it up is basically what she said, which is the stance that I think that the Conservative Party of Canada should be taking towards this. I know it's going to hurt, but this is practically the fault of the Liberal government and the NDP, who will not concede to calling an election at this point. We just need to get the Conservatives in power, but the leftists, the Liberals, the New Democratic Party, they're kind of not allowing that and are using this tariff trade war as an excuse to kind of stay in power. I'll get to more of that in just a second. Was there anything else that I wanted to talk about here? No. Okay, moving on. Like literally, this is the stance that Canada is taking. They're saying that they won't end tariffs unless all US tariffs are lifted. No, that is the wrong response you should be taking here. What you should be doing instead is, first, it's not like, okay, we're not going to end it unless they end it, because they're not going to end it. United States is not going to end the tariffs to Canada unless they fix that border crisis, or the fentanyl crossing, or illegal immigration. Illegal immigration, I don't think is too much of a big deal. Or maybe it is, I don't even know. But it needs to see more effort being put into the borders, right? To kind of get those tariffs away. That's the only way to get rid of the tariffs. And then that's when, of course, Canada can also end their tariffs. But no, this is the stance that they're taking, so it's a bit childish. And also Trudeau, mentioned some comments like, you guys can continue booing the national anthem, by the way, and don't vacation in the United States. Is kind of like, to sum up, one of the speeches that he gave on his announcement of counter tariffs the day of yesterday once those tariffs were put in place. President Donald Trump says that, if Canada does put any retaliatory tariffs on the United States will trigger an immediate matching tariff increase on Canada. He posted that on Truth Social. I'm not sure if what this means is that, okay, we're putting a 25% tariff on Canada. United States is putting 25% tariff in Canada. Canada retaliates with a 25% tariff as well. Then the United States is just going to put an extra 25% on top of the 25% that they were giving them, making it a 50% tariff on Canada because they retaliated with a 25% tariff. Either way, the United States is going to win this trade war, right? Something needs to change in Canada then. Some negotiations need to be made. Justin Trudeau needs to speak with Trump or just get out of the office and let Pierre Poilievre take over. Call an election, right? Jagmeet Singh needs to kind of get his party to approve that as well. The stance of Danielle Smith from Alberta is the one that makes the most sense to me, because if you're going to do what Doug Ford is doing or what Justin Trudeau is doing, keep in mind, these are from different parties, right? Doug Ford is supposed to be from the Conservative Party, and I don't understand why he's acting like this. I voted for this guy, by the way. I think he's doing the wrong thing. I think Danielle Smith is doing the right thing, right? Just suck up to the tariffs, because otherwise we're going to have to pay more, right, on the imports from the United States. And Canada imports a lot from the United States, and so does Mexico, right? We'll get to Mexico later, but focusing on Canada here, it's just going to make things worse if you put retaliatory tariffs. It's better to just sit down, negotiate, get the problem solved, and avoid tariffs completely, or get annexed into the 51st state, which I'm pretty sure a lot of Canadians don't really want anymore. A lot of leftists are coming to Canada, and they hate Donald Trump. There you go. So, yeah. This is also something that Justin Trudeau did point out. He's saying that he feels that Trump is trying to prompt a total collapse of the Canadian economy with these tariffs because he thinks that it will make it easier to annex us, which I thought of that as well from before. And yeah, it does make sense in this context. If Donald Trump wants Canada to become the 51st state in a more serious manner, what better way, instead of like full on invading the second largest country in the world, just collapse their economy until they cave in, right? And then you just take over and say, hey, under our 51st state policies, you will have no tariffs, you'll have a better economy, better military protection, etc. There is a lot of benefits, and it's making that deal look real spicy to join the United States as the 51st state. But of course, we are a sovereign nation, as Pierre Poilievre says, and a lot of people have died for this country, so I guess it makes sense we just stay as Canada with a terrible economy. So there you go. Trudeau says that he will be leaving as prime minister soon, although he practically resigned like in January or something. He said that there's no firm date and a lot of things are happening in this particularly complicated time. It's clear that he just doesn't want to leave at this point, right? He's just going to play pretend prime minister until an election happens. It's going to naturally happen in October, because that's when it's scheduled to happen in Canada, regardless if they want to or not. So I don't know if they're going to extend our suffering and not call an election and make us wait another, 8 months? 7 months? Until October. Or if, they're just going to give up, pass the baton over to the Conservative Party, and let them fix everything, the big mess that they've put him in. I think they're just going to wait it out, honestly. These guys have got different plans. They're very egotistical. It's not going to work out fine. And also, Donald Trump took note of this as well. This is a post from today. At 1 o'clock, he posted, Justin Trudeau of Canada called me to ask what could be done about tariffs. Hey, at least he's trying, I guess. Not trying hard enough, in my opinion. Trump told Justin that many people have died from fentanyl that came through the borders of Canada and Mexico, and nothing has convinced Trump that it has stopped. Trudeau has mentioned, hey, but it's gotten better. But Trump says that is not good enough. Part of this, and just a side note, Trudeau did mention, he was live somewhere, I don't know, I watched a clip of it, that he says that the percentage of fentanyl that the United States receives, only 1% of that comes from Canada. The rest is from, like, I don't know, China or Mexico or anywhere else. Which, I don't know how true that is, but because if Trump is making a big deal out of only 1% of fentanyl coming from Canada, then okay, maybe the problem is with Trump. But that can't be the case, right? Surely it's more. Surely Trudeau is lying, and I don't know. We'll need some actual statistics to back up those claims, or else it's just a big source, I made it up, bro, kind of deal. Anyways, to continue with the post, Trump says that the call ended in a somewhat friendly manner. He says that Trudeau was unable to tell Trump when the Canadian election is taking place, which made Trump curious, like, what's going on here? Then he realized that Justin is just trying to use this issue to stay in power. Well, good luck, Justin, is what he says. He's calling him out publicly, and he is absolutely correct. I feel this way as well. It just makes sense, right? He's trying to stay in power as long as he can. And the NDP, another party from Canada, yeah, it's a similar deal. Speaking of this guy, Jagmeet Singh, leader of the NDP. He says that, well, guys, look at this. I know I got my pension and everything, and that's why I've delayed an election until now. But we are in an emergency, so now is not the time for an election. Now is the time for an election because these politicians can't do anything. It seems like they're just, oh, we're going to counter tariff and that's it. We're not going to sit down and negotiate. They're not trying hard enough. Jagmeet Singh says that laws must be passed and implemented first, and an election second. All right, pal. Jagmeet Singh is the biggest slimeball POS in the history of Canadian politics. Yeah, there you go. Everybody feels this way about him, pretty sure. We just need Conservative Party to fix the problems here. That's my final stance on this whole Canada situation. We did have a bit of glimmer of hope yesterday. This is news from yesterday, March 4, which is probably why we did bounce back on crypto today, right? March 4, like looking at Sui's chart is a perfect example, right? We were at a very low point because it's like, oh my gosh, the tariffs are live. What are we going to do now here? Well, that day we're like, okay, this is the new reality. We have tariffs going on. There's a trade war. It's whatever. We are the same price that we were February 2nd when this whole trade war thing was announced, right? That's 10th of November. This is 2nd of February, right over here. So, you know, it makes sense that we shouldn't drop any further because we are where we were when we feared what was going to happen. That is currently happening now. You can quote me on that later and put it on merch. So, uptrend, right? From here, the bottom is in, likely. We had some hope that this might end. The U.S. Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, I think that's his name, says that Trump may reduce tariffs on Mexican and Canadian goods as soon as tomorrow. He said that news yesterday. That bit of news gave the market some hope. It's like, okay, it seems like they're going to figure something out, get to some negotiation, some deal, and, you know, the trade war will be over. Unfortunately not. Nothing came today that changed anything, except for this little bit of thing. There's just a consideration happening. The US is considering a 1-month delay on auto tariffs for both Canada and Mexico instead. That's the little bit of news that we got here that gave us some relief. So we're like, you know what? Okay, it's fine. This is the new reality. We'll work past it as a market. The sell-offs have happened. The liquidations have happened. The market manipulation is behind us. It's... What do we have next? March 7. Right? Look at my cursor at the bottom. All this is March 7. Okay? What's happening March 7? I already told you. So, that's what everybody is looking for the end of this week, right? Speaking of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum says that, well, she didn't announce retaliatory tariffs immediately, by the way, which is a smart play from her. Otherwise, you know, things could have been worse for markets in general. Their peso is suffering. The US dollar strengthens at the fact that there is, you know, tariffs being imposed on the Mexican country. She said that she would announce countermeasures on Sunday. So she's kind of delaying the process. She's going to sit down and think to see what happens here. She's responding with non-tariff measures. And ultimately, I don't know if this is like from right now. This news came out today indeed. She said that Mexico is free, independent, sovereign. We're a strong country, Mexico. There will be no submission to the United States. There's great enthusiasm for the assembly on Sunday. at 12 midday, they're going to talk about the future and the decisions of the country, is what she mentioned. Okay. And also part of it, she also said like, okay, it's not, we don't have to worry about like only trading with the United States. We'll focus on other countries too. We'll trade with Canada, we'll trade with Europe, etc. So it seems like she's going to find a workaround to, kind of no longer deal with the United States and not deal with their tariffs, not trade with the United States to avoid tariffs is kind of the feel that I'm getting from this. Could be a smart move, right? She avoids tariffs. Well, Mexico avoids tariffs. The United States also avoids counter tariffs and another trade war. They're just going to stop the trading, I guess, for now. Unless she does something to fix the border, of course, which would just fix the whole world's problems and we'd all be pumping to new all-time highs by now, but not. You know who Trump would consider a free trade deal with, though? That is Argentina at this moment. He really likes Javier Milei. Elon Musk also approves of this. Yeah. Reporter asked Donald Trump, you met with President Javier Milei at CPAC. He wants to sign a free trade agreement with the United States. Is that something you would consider with Argentina or any other country? Trump says, yeah, I'd consider anything. And Argentina, I think he's great, by the way. I think he's a great leader. He's doing a great job. He's doing a fantastic job, in the words of Trump. So, yeah, hey, maybe free trade deal with Argentina. I don't know what we'll get from them, but hey, at least it's a possibility. That's a good thing. All right, Ukraine updates. Zelensky is now pleading for a deal, saying that the meeting in Washington at the White House on Friday last week did not go the way it was supposed to be, Zelensky wrote on X. It's time to make things right. He would like future cooperation and communication to be constructive, meaning that, okay, you know what? He's willing to speak with Trump again, work with Donald Trump and his leadership to bring peace to the war. Hey, there you go. Seems like he finally changed his opinion. Well, guess what? He changed his opinion again today. Talking about this. He changed his mind again, announcing that, okay, you know what? We're not going to negotiate with Russia. Doesn't want to discuss anything with Russians to make any concessions. Does that mean he wants to continue the war? I don't know. Feels like he is willing to discuss with the United States, though. They're ready to come to the negotiating table, ready to work fast to end the war, and the first stages could be the release of prisoners and truce in the sky. But if you're not going to do that with Russia, then what's the point? I don't understand what this guy's what his plan is. Neither does the rest of the world, honestly, at this point. Who knows what Ukraine will do? They got billions now. It's all down to them and his decisions, Zelensky. This is a very recent post from Donald Trump, 5 p.m. He says, Shalom Hamas. Shalom would mean hello and goodbye. You can choose, right? He's asking for Hamas to release all of the Israeli hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it is over for you. Seems like Donald Trump is now pressuring, trying to expedite this whole process of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, right? It seems like before Trump took office that they did make a ceasefire deal, which it went well for a couple of weeks, right? Until suddenly, I don't know, something happened and Hamas said that they wouldn't be giving out the hostages anymore. And then Israel is like, well, what the heck? You're supposed to give us the hostages back, right? So we can reach the ceasefire deal. So Hamas paused it for whatever reason. And now Trump is asking them to resume it. He's calling them sick and twisted people because they're keeping bodies. You're sick and twisted. I'm sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. He has just met with the former hostages. He did indeed meet with former Israeli hostages in the White House, by the way. There's a photo of that somewhere. Did somebody post it over here? I'm not clicking that. Whose lives you've destroyed. This is your last warning for the leadership. Now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a chance. Also to the people of Gaza. A beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you're dead. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. In caps lock, the President of the United States, guys. That is true leadership, unlike Joe Biden. Man. Yeah, I think Hamas is going to read this and be like, you know what? Sure, we'll indeed continue doing that. Sorry for the delay, Trump. There you go. Don't bomb us. Don't give Israel more nukes. Also, I don't think I covered this before, but this beautiful future that he's talking about, last week, I think, someday last week, he uploaded a video. Donald Trump uploaded a video to his Truth Social. It was AI generated about how the future of Gaza would look like, and it's showing like a lot of beautiful beaches and buildings and golden city practically. He's got good plans, and he's planning to rebuild Gaza after, of course, the war that happened there throughout this past. Has it been 2 years now? A year and a half, I don't know. October 7, 2023. Yeah. So yeah, there's hope, and there's also, the Arabic countries proposing to spend $53 billion also to help rebuild Gaza and kick Hamas out of Gaza leadership. That is indeed Trump's Art of the Deal, the book I read there, which is great, right? There's finally some peace is coming down there to the Middle East. Also, this whole like student protests at the universities and all of that. Trump has announced that he will cut federal funding to universities that allow illegal protests and imprison or deport student protesters. That's perfect. That is exactly what I want to see. He is referring to the anti-Israel protests that swept college campuses across the nation last year, which was a huge deal. Like, if you were Jewish and you attended some university, you would literally just get a line of people blocking you from entering your class, I guess, right? Entering the campus just because you're Jewish and they're protesting Palestine. And then half of them don't even know where it's located or none of that stuff. And you're asking like, oh, who is funding all of this? Where do they get the money from? Apparently they're being paid. Something like, or you want some money? You want a little quick job? We'll pay you $15 an hour to hold this Palestine sign over here from this time to this time. Who is behind all that? Probably some sick, twisted warmongers, right? Anyway, that's just conspiracy theory territory. Speaking of warmongers, the Democrats, there's 23 senators or more, at least that we could count. All these senators posted videos on TikTok with the exact same script, by the way. I don't know if there's video footage of it here. I don't think I could find it. No. Anyway, they were just posting like the same video about, Donald Trump speaking, the same clip of Donald Trump speaking, and then it cuts to this specific senator, right? Saying that, oh, Trump is talking shit that ain't true, right? And then, they start saying like, oh, Donald Trump is doing a bad job, he's lying, he's doing this and that. Literally the exact same wording for all of these. It's like it's scripted, and that's why you see the NPC meme over here, because they're all saying the exact same thing. And we thought nobody would notice. Everybody noticed, right? We're not that out of touch with what's going on here. This is Al Green, who stood up and yesterday's, what was this? Donald Trump had a speech yesterday practically at the US House of Commons, right? Speaker Mike Johnson was there, and JD Vance, with Donald Trump, right? While he gave an hour 43-minute speech about everything that he's been doing. The Democrats were on one side of the courtroom, I guess is what you'd call it, or the assembly, and of course everybody else was on the other side. All the senators were there, right? And this guy, one of them, he apparently stood up and was being disrespectful, I guess, to Trump, kind of like going against what he was saying, like, no, you're lying. There's also people like dressed in pink for Women's Day, and these women, they're voting to keep men and women's sports, which is the irony of things. There's also, the Democrats holding up these little signs that they made, like, oh, he's lying, it's false. Elon Musk is like something like basically insulting them, right? Yeah, it was just an event yesterday, and that's what I spent my night doing. It was at 9 o'clock, which is usually the time when I stream, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna watch this instead because I'm sick. I'm still sick. The House Chamber, that's what it's called. Anyways, this guy raged at Trump with his cane, and then he got kicked out. He says that he's protesting and working articles on impeachment. This president is unfit. Yeah, he's just coping and seething. The Democrats, literally, even Nancy Pelosi was in tears. Like, it was that crazy. They were also just being disrespectful in general. There was a kid, a 13-year-old kid, who, well, he's black, and he always dreamed of becoming a cop, or he dressed up as a cop and got made fun of for doing so last year. And he's also been going through a lot of treatments, cancer treatments. He does have cancer, and he survived it, which is a miracle. And, Trump pointed him out in front of the whole congregation and said, you are now a official Secret Service member. So there you go. 13-year-old is a Secret Service member. The Democrats kind of like rolled their eyes and like, oh, they didn't even clap or anything. And then like even some news reporters were out later on saying like, oh, well, it's a good thing that we have such a young soul willing to, serve the country and everything. We just hope that he doesn't have to die like for Trump or anything, or like commit suicide or none of that stuff because he's working for Trump now. Like that kind of like heartless stuff. Like, why would you say that to a 13-year-old? So yeah. Anyways, they won't stop bullying the kid. I thought it was a wholesome moment, but well, guess not. Not for the Democrats. These people don't have a heart. Anyway, Crypto Summit, Friday. That's also happening. Here's more details about it. Michael Saylor posted a tweet saying that he was invited. That made his MicroStrategy stock pump yesterday or today? Yesterday? I don't remember. This is not what I'm looking for. Do I have MicroStrategy? I do. Yeah, I made a pump yesterday. And today as well. We're breaking out of a downtrend. That's pretty good. Hopefully we continue the up impulse spike tomorrow. How far can we see resistances? I do want to analyze this because I do hold it. I should be doing this on a daily chart. Yes, indeed. Well, we're at one of the resistances right now. The next one would be where we saw this level over here, 348, 350. 350 makes sense. That's the next resistance for MicroStrategy. We'll see if we're able to keep that pace up. Hey, depending on what Michael Saylor does or says at that crypto summit on Friday, it's going to be pretty crucial, and I will be at a break-even price too. That'll be decent. Anyways, so who's going to be there? Donald Trump, Bo Hines, David Sachs. David Sachs does not hold crypto, so he's going to be here unbiased. He sold his crypto before taking his position in the White House office, right? So this means that the White House people, of course, they have to be neutral. They're not bullish for none of the coins. They're just hosting the event, and they will be there. Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple. My throat hurts. Hold on. So yeah, Ripple guy is going to be there. Not Chris Larson, though. Chris Larson is a Kamala Harris supporter, probably. Michael Saylor is going to be there for MicroStrategy. I don't know why this says micro. It should be strategy, whatever. Bullish for Bitcoin, we already know that. Paolo Ardonio from Tether. Kyle Samani from Multicoin Capital. I haven't heard of these. Kathy Wood I have heard of from ARK Investments is going to be there. Charles Hoskinson, creator of Cardano, founder. Anatoly Yakovenko as well from Solana. Vitalik Buterin from Ethereum. Hey, Ondo's going to be there too. Nat Eliason, I've never heard of this person though. Mark Anderson, never heard of either, from Avalanche Engineer. Paul Atkins, the SEC chair. That's good. Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, and CZ from Binance. Huge. Why does it say an A? Brian Armstrong, I don't know. He should be for Bitcoin or something. CZ from Binance should be bullish for Binance coin. Yeah. So yeah, important people will be there, which will be important. Of course, Cynthia Loomis, I'm pretty sure will also be there. I think she said that she would be there. I talked about this 2 days ago. There was a whale who entered Bitcoin before Donald Trump announced right? The crypto reserve. He basically opened a long position 50x, which means his liquidation price was like over here somewhere. And it was just such a precise trade that this guy made millions of dollars with a pump like that. Immediately, the guy sells at the top. This mysterious person, by the way, and decides to short Bitcoin right over here. I don't remember how many X was shorted, but yeah, we just know that he shorted Bitcoin right over here. This is just insider trading, isn't it? Right? Like, how can you be this precise and know with, like, what, 8 to 16 hours of anticipation that Donald Trump would put out a tweet like that, making everything pump like crazy? They did it on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this person over here. This person longed $200 million in crypto before Trump's crypto reserve announcement. He changed his name to March 7, and this was on Hyperliquid. So, okay, you change your wallet name to March 7. That's the same day as the crypto summit, this Friday. So what does he know then? He's clearly got insider information. Right? If he was able to determine this and this. We don't know if this person has entered any more long positions or anything else from there. But yeah. There was a bit of a leak or a rumor going around as well from Donald Trump Jr. specifically. Or I think it was Eric Trump. I don't want to slander either one. It's one of Trump's sons mentioning something about a 0% capital gains tax on US crypto if you hold it for over 1 year, which could be announced at Friday's crypto summit. Imagine if Donald Trump says, if you hold crypto for 1 year, you will pay 0% capital gains tax. Oh my gosh. It will explode the market indeed. So that's just a rumor for now, but something like that can happen. And if it does, yeah, we're going to be going a little higher, right? That could be the fundamentals that we needed to give us the pump. Much desired, much missed by now, based off of all this, FUD and scams going around with, a lot of stuff been happening. Every Friday we've been having bad news. This Friday, though, could be good news. Or it also could be bad news. Keep that in mind. It could be up or down, so be prepared for volatility on Friday. I'm saying it so much. Friday is going to be such an important day. So, Trump's Bitcoin strategic reserve is gaining traction, but some people are claiming that Congress, maybe they're not even ready for this. Even pro-Bitcoin Senator Cynthia Loomis, who introduced the bill for the Bitcoin strategic reserve, she's admitting that there's not enough support yet. We kind of saw a glimpse of this, last week when she had that little reunion with those other members of Congress to discuss like stable coins, that crypto strategic reserve, the SEC, a lot of other projects, etc. The meme coins not being a security, they're just collectibles, right? Kind of conclusion that they got. The House Banking Committee Chairman Tim Scott is pushing for delays, claiming that the US isn't prepared for this, which means that the world still doesn't get it. While the governments are hesitating, you still have time to stack before they wake up, so you could use that wisely. That's bit of mixed news, right? Could be good, could be bad. Could be bad short term, but good long term kind of deal. Nick thinks that they have set up this White House Crypto Summit on Friday to be a massive sell the event. Possibly. There's, we have the bait from Trump's Crypto Strategic Reserve post. Everyone is now hyper-focused on what could come out of that summit. Prices are being sustained by expectations of concrete proposals and announcements. We're expecting something from these people to be announced. If we get confirmation of that, markets explode upwards. If nothing special is mentioned, it's going to be a huge letdown. People will be disillusioned and be like, oh, this is garbage, and they'll start selling off, which is not what we want to see, especially at a crucial time like this. We do need that fundamental to pump Bitcoin, not dump it further. And if we do dump further, we can look at 74,000 as our next target. It is a classic announcement of an announcement, which many a crypto founder has done in the past. Let's hope that there is substantive information given about the Strategic Crypto Reserve, tax proposal, legislation, or something else. Because if it's just more platitudes and photo ops, the markets may sell off, which I agree with. It also doesn't help that it's heading into a low liquidity weekend. That's also true. Why does everything have to happen on a Friday? Because what happens after Friday? A Saturday, and it's just such low liquidity, no volume. It's always flat, right? You don't got to go too far back in history to determine that. What was last March 1? Here. This is March 1, fellows. See how flat this is? Like, come on. March 2nd, okay, exception because Trump made that tweet. The Insider, March 7, this is his name now, made profit from this, made profit from shorting. We don't know if he's got an open position yet here. Doesn't seem like he's taking one. Could be risky then, thinking that it could be going to the upside. What if he knows something that we don't as well? Clearly he knows something that we don't. Was able to predict both of these. Yeah, sketchy stuff going on. Russia says that they will not be doing a strategic Bitcoin reserve for now. Neither is Australia, by the way. They will regret that. Pump.fun trading volume has plunged 94% as the hype dies down for meme coins. Maybe it's time for the real projects to shine. So, hey, like I said, maybe the stars align. Maybe this is all going to be perfect for crypto in general. Maybe people will start entering actual good altcoin projects, right? We're getting a crypto reserve, which includes Solana, Ethereum, XRP, and Cardano. Not Litecoin, RIP. But hey, for Litecoin and other assets like HBAR or SUI, could be getting ETFs instead. That's fine as well. We already know what meme coins will do to you. It's just all rug pulls at this point. Quick, make money rich, quick, get rich quick scheme. How do you even say it? You get the point. It's not going to work out. All right. This is also cool news is that, remember how I was mentioning, hey, CZ from Binance should be bullish on his Binance coin at the crypto summit. Brian Armstrong does have something to be bullish about too. His own coin. Coinbase is going to release their actual coin. They do have a stock, but they're also going to release their cryptocurrency, similarly to what Binance has. Just imagine that, guys, okay? We already know how big Binance is as an exchange. Their token is also large. It's in the top 5. It's been in the top 3 before, right? Coinbase, which is probably the second largest exchange out there, could be just under Binance. Like, imagine the market cap that this would bring, right? Could be good stuff. I still have to investigate this Pi thing. I've been hearing about it since before Bybit got hacked. I don't know. I'll invest Pi later on. I'll investigate Pi later on, not invest. I'll invest if it's good. If my investigation comes out positive. Anyways, yeah, it's confirmed. Base confirmed. An on-chain future is coming. Might as well build. We're going to be using Coinbase token, I guess. It's happening. They already have their chain, right? So, hey, it just makes sense for Coinbase to release this. And this is also that thing that I was telling you guys about. Trump, with his World Liberty Financial, is accumulating more Ethereum in a record pace. So he knows something, maybe. There's also this Ethereum news where the board of NASDAQ listed Bionexus Gene Lab. This is a company. They approved Ethereum to be its primary treasure asset. Similarly to what MicroStrategy does with holding Bitcoin, Coinbase also does it, Robinhood as well a little bit, Marathon Digital Holdings, Riot Platforms, they all hold some Bitcoin, and their stock price does kind of get impacted by it in a good way or a bad way. Well, this company is doing an Ethereum strategy white paper. They released a white paper strategy for Ethereum, highlighting the assets' institutional reliability, staking rewards, and financial dominance and scalability. So, hey, more companies investing into cryptocurrency, that's pretty good. It's no Microsoft, but hey, it's a start. It's something that's listed in NASDAQ. I personally have never heard of the company, but hey, still good news nonetheless. All right. Hopefully MicroStrategy stock as well. Depends all what happens on Friday. Friday is just the important day here. Did any new trades happen? No. See, this is checking in real time, which is what I love. I probably should be checking for longs at this point, right? Do you think we're going to be dropping? Litecoin is pretty oversold. I don't have RSI anymore. Yeah, I feel like it is a bit oversold at this point. All right. Well, yeah, that would come to a conclusion for the stream. Got not much else to talk about. We'll continue working on my little robot. I will probably add more margin in here as well and keep you guys updated on that. And yeah, that's all. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Please smash like, and thanks for subscribing as well. I checked and I saw I had 336 subscribers, so your support means a lot. Thank you, guys. And I don't know if I'll see you tomorrow. Friday for sure. Friday is a big day we got to talk about. Depends if I get better or not. I'll see if I stream tomorrow. I probably will. I'll push through it.